Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of those reality shows that we're doing is Below Deck. Now, wait a minute, you might be saying. You said yesterday you were going to be doing Dancing for Relevancy, your special little pre-show show for Dancing for Relevancy, and instead you're doing Below Deck. What's that about? Okay, so here's why I thought Below Deck was a repeat this week. Because my DVR told me that it was. It did not tell me that they were airing a new episode. In fact, it said that they were re-airing Season 1, Episode 2. And it had like a description of that episode. It wasn't. They actually aired Season 5, Episode 2, which is the new episode. So I was very surprised. Because what happened was I'm here in Laughlin, and I was on my Twitter, and I'll tell you about some of my misadventures in Twitter next week. But I was on Twitter, and I saw Kate Chastain live tweeting the show in Florida, because they're 3 hours ahead. It was like 5 or something. And I'm thinking, what the hell? What? What's going on? I thought it was a repeat. So whatever, I went to bed and I woke up this morning and I looked on my Bravo Now app because, here in Laughlin at this hotel, it's such a classy hotel, they don't have Bravo. So I luckily have my Bravo Now. They do have internet, thank goodness. Oh my God, if they had no internet, I would seriously, even if I had to pay for it myself, I would go stay somewhere else. I'd be like, no, I can't. If there's no internet, I can't stay here. But they do have internet. So I was able to watch the show. I watched it this morning. And okay, so there's not going to be a pre-show show for Dancing for Relevancy. So when I do Dancing for Relevancy next week, I will tell you how the first 2 episodes were, because that's why I always do Dancing for Relevancy on Wednesdays, because Mondays and Tuesdays, because every show is always on Monday, but like those first 3 weeks, they usually have a Tuesday show too, so that way I get both shows in for the week, and I do it on Wednesday. Plus I do it really early enough that, I like getting that stuff done quickly so that you have time to sit and marinate on it before next week's episode. All right, so that's why, and Jackson Brittany is just a limited series. So eventually Below Deck's going to move to Thursdays for the Sudsy recap of it. And, to Fridays. Right? No, it's going to stay on Thursdays. It's going to move to Thursdays, right. And then Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays are days Young, the Restless, and General Hospital. God, I need to... And those have all been consistent since I started this show last year. Over 300 episodes ago. How crazy is that? Wow. Okay. So, having said that, let's talk about Below Deck this past week. So the title of the episode was "It Ain't Easy Being Green." So, here's the deal. The crew is very, very green. The only people that really aren't green are Kate, Nico, and the captain. Baker's done a couple yachts, 5 years ago, but it's been a while. And then the other 2 are just green as hell. And then the 2 stews are green as hell. And even the chef is fierce, but he's relatively green when it comes to yachting. So in terms of all of that, everyone is really having a difficult time. Now, Baker's picking it up quick, so she's quickly becoming like Nico's lead deckhand. That's great. That's wonderful. Bruno, on the other hand, that's his name, Bruno. Remember last week I was like, I don't remember what that one guy's name. And Baker, I don't know what, but Bruno, his name is Bruno. And you know how I remembered his name was Bruno? I actually remembered it like the next day after I had done the Below Deck recap last week. But because there's also a guy named Bruno who was on Real World Skeletons, with Tony and Madison, and he was on the challenge too, but he was a big mess on the challenge. Anyways, but his name was Bruno also, and they both look like Latin. I mean, Bruno looks Latin, and Bruno, they're both named Bruno. Bruno Real World looks Latin, and Bruno Below Deck looks Portuguese because he's Portuguese. So, but yeah, so, and I remember they're both named Bruno. So anyway, Bruno, his name's Bruno. He is a hot fucking mess. He really is. Like, I love how Kate talks about, because she was killing me on Twitter. She is really funny. She really is. The thing about Bruno is that he, like, because Nico basically was like, you need to start picking it up faster because everyone else is getting it faster than you are. And, and Bruno was hurt, like he cried about that. So, first of all, that's why I would never be a deckhand on that show. Because here's the thing with being a deckhand. If you're a deckhand on that show, you're really responsible for the lives of not just the charter guests, but also the crew too, right? And so you've got to be, on your shit all the time. So, the fact that the whole crew they're so bad that Captain Lee was like, I don't want them anywhere near the lines when we dock, period. I want them cleaning shit. That's how I want them. I don't want them having anything to do with us docking the boat, because we need to be on our shit for that. And I was like, wow. Well, I mean, he's the captain, right? He knows what's best. So, anyways, so Bruno was so upset, and he was crying, and he was like, it's the way you talk to people and it's like, you obviously have not worked anywhere for a very long period of time, because I know there are lots of bosses out there that are assholes. And honestly, and actually, I'm going to stick up for Nico a little bit. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to stick up for Nico, and I'm going to say he wasn't even being that big of a dick. He really wasn't. He was pointing out the fucking obvious. I mean, I don't know how Bruno doesn't know already that he's the slowest on the boat. Like, how do you not know that? Now, maybe because you're, best buds with Chris Brown, who's constantly going around, and he's bad too. But, I mean, he at least picks up things quicker than Bruno does. Bruno does not get anything. He just hasn't. And, like, his whole deal is, I'm very customer service oriented, and it's like, but you're a deckhand. You don't have to really deal with the customers like the stewardesses do. Now, if they had male stews and he was a stew, I wouldn't, first of all, I wouldn't think he would have that much of a problem. But second of all, because he would be using those customer service skills that he has, he'd be putting them to use. He doesn't, as a deckhand, you're not going to do that. Like, you're just not. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works, right? So, yeah. The stewardesses are fine, except they're awful. They're not awful. They're just not that good at their jobs. And Kate, God bless her, despite the fact that she does talk shit about them a little bit. Not like Bugsy, where she's like, smiling to Hannah's face and then talking shit about her behind her back the next minute. Probably because she was jealous that Hannah was chief stew and she wasn't, because she said, I never should have taken the second stew position. Yeah, you shouldn't have. If you're going to bitch about it all the time, you really shouldn't have. But I digress. Anyways. So what should have happened would be that one of the girls, the mom, she is funny. I don't know if she necessarily tries to be funny, but she's funny. And Kate laughs at her. So Kate is actually relatively in a good mood with everyone. Like, and what's funny is that the single mom is always saying that that Kate's kind of a bitch. Yes, she is, but She really hasn't been to her yet. Like, if you think this is a bitch, oh, honey, I can't wait for the rest of the season because she will probably learn soon what a real bitch is, right? Um, so, anyways, I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of this season. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can hashtag Below Deck, or you can hashtag Jackson Brittany to talk about Jackson Brittany. I'm doing that tomorrow. You can also follow me on YouTube. You hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, and you'll get my YouTube video sent to your inbox every single day. Thank you so much for logging on today, everybody. I do appreciate it. You have a great night. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.